All right, we're
We
going.
get to ask y'all questions?
Sure. Sure.
I'd like to know what y'all remember about Christmas
You go first.
growing up.
Oldest one goes first.
Man, it's funny because my first memories are from that. I mean, I remember like just opening up billions of presents at seemed
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know.
Just
And, I mean,
Piles.
yeah, and that was a big deal, was remembering how much we got.
Remember, we always piled
They were,
presents.
of course,
Yeah.
things were a lot different then in price.
Well, yeah, but so they were in salaries too.
Yeah.
I remember the year y'all did when you did the boots and the ashes and did the footprints coming
Oh,
out
yeah.
from the fireplace.
We got a few more years of Santa out of
Yeah,
that.
made a believer out of me, and I was 18.
He just knew Mom wouldn't allow that.
Yeah, I figured Mom was mad at Santa.
Lasting impression.
Yeah. I remember Leroy got stockings just like we did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We always got fruit, got oranges and apples, and I'd get that out of the way.
Where's that candy?
Right.
M&M's, all right.
But I have
Those
I'm
with
gonna have, does anybody want a bar? You want a bar or
I
anything?
don't.
Nah,
Bar.
Breakfast bar?
You want to go to the bar?
Already finished mine, thanks.
Cleaning up the cookies that Santa didn't eat. I remember
Yeah.
being real quick to look for those.
I remember, the ones with the grandkids, when Jason and Jacob and Valerie were little, doing them in that back room at your house.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. Back in the,
I know Larry did Santa a time or more, and you
I remember
did
once. Yeah, I think I did it one year.
at least.
Yeah, you did it one year, Mom.
I just remember one, but maybe it was more.
Those
Oh,
were-
where you played Santa?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Do you?
Yeah, sure do.
Remember Larry Lay played it one year.
Remember
Yeah.
that too.
Yep.
Pretty realistic, too.
Seemed like Jason sniffed him out though, I think.
Yeah, I think
remember
his
that.
laugh gave him away, I think.
Who did?
Jason sniffed him out.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, when Larry laughed, that gave himself away.
Oh, okay.
Which flavor drink do you have there?
That's vanilla.
Boone's Farm.
Vanilla, okay.
Insure. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Mom, did you need a bar?
Hey, I finally found
thanks.
those at a good price.
Oh, good.
Just like you were talking about.
Yeah,
I
there's a
had to go-
wide range in what you can pay.
Right. I found them at Sam's, and I've ordered them for pickup. I'm gonna have to go to a couple of them. I mean, he's drinking 3 a day, so this is serious business. You don't just pick up a 6-pack, you know.
Well, you're going to be gone for, 4 or 5 days this week, aren't you?
Yeah, later.
Later in the week, yeah.
So did you do the installment plan?
He can do the bathroom plan. That's the best.
Yeah. They're stocked up in the bathroom.
Oh, it's a pilot full in there.
That's why we had to get you a shower curtain.
Yeah, you're right.
Start to build a pyramid in there.
We're working on it.
Mike, do you want to kick off a question for one of them? I don't know, do you want to do it where we just throw the question out and whoever wants to address it
Sure,
first?
sure.
Are we filming?
Yeah.
Okay.
So no foul language, Jeff.
No, watch your language.
All right, clean it up.
What comes to mind when you think about growing up in your hometown?
I think about Norwood.
Yeah.
And I think our neighborhood, how we used to get out and play in the streets all the time. And there are several streets there where people, or the kids would all meet. We'd play football out in the street. And, I don't know, we just had a lot of fun.
I remember you told us you played stickball. Do you remember that?
No, stickball.
I think you said you didn't have a baseball bat, and y'all just had like a broomstick or something.
Okay, yeah, we'd use a little old rubber ball for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure did.
Probably hit it a mile when you hit it solid.
If you hit it, if you hit it right, yeah.
I remember we had, we always had so much fun just playing. We had like a little space, like a playground type thing. I mean, there was no rides or anything like that. It was just a place to play ball.
Yeah.
And all the kids in the neighborhood would meet up there and we'd play ball. I don't know who had a ball or a bat or anything, but somebody came up with it, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was always fun.
Yeah.
Were you a star?
Oh, yeah. Since y'all don't know any different.
There you go.
They'd all back up in the outfield when you come in.
Yeah.
The older I get, the better I was.
You were always the first one picked when everybody was choosing
That's right,
sides.
yeah. But you know, I don't remember anybody being always last or, you know,
Yeah.
that type of thing of being picked. I don't remember any of that.
Not until Jeff came around.
Ooh. Pick another good one.
Well, you know, you talk about playing in the neighborhood like that. I mean, that's definitely the way that I think Jeff and I, for sure, and probably Mike, remember, you know, living over on Dixon. I mean, it was just
Playing in the
outside
street.
in the street,
Yeah.
you know, especially during
The
summer.
neighborhood comes together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was wiffle ball or playing football or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, just all day long.
Luckily, we were on a dead-end street.
Yeah, it helped a little bit.
Yeah.
That made a difference.
When Santa Claus would bring us each a football, and that lasted about all year.
Yeah.
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 Sure
But
was.
you needed one every year, didn't you?
Yeah.
By the end of the year,
I
we
remember
were-
the year that Mickey Duggins got a leather football, and he wasn't allowed to play ball with it in the street.
Yeah.
We broke it in, didn't we?
I thought, well, what is that? If they can't
Put it up
play
on a shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta take care of that thing.
Can't mess it up.
By the time the year came around, we were using shoestrings to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure were. The repair work to get it to last till the next Christmas.
tie a bow and.
Oh, wow.
We'd say, who's got a needle? So we'd pump it up. I remember that.
Stretch it now.
What did you love to do as a kid before high school?
Play ball out in the street for me.
Yeah, that's what we did, was play games and
I guess that was about all.
When you play games, was it mostly outside or do
yeah.
inside games also?
No, the houses were also small up there where we lived. That they were all outside. Even in the wintertime. We didn't have sleds or anything, but we'd take a wooden chair, you know, like those old wooden chairs that we used to have that had just a wooden frame and all that. We'd ride those, we'd go down the hill on those as a sled.
And did Mom know about this?
Yeah,
Or was she riding with you?
she probably would have.
How small was the house?
Oh.
What was it, 4 rooms?
Did it have 4 rooms?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. They were just
Just a lot of kids.
like a square, a kitchen, and then another room behind the kitchen, and then a front room and a bedroom, 1 bedroom,
Yeah, how many kids?
10.
Bedroom.
Wow.
Man.
You had a few bunk beds in there, I guess, huh?
No, we didn't have any bunk beds.
No?
We didn't know what a bunk bed was.
Just shared bed, huh?
Oh gosh, yeah, more than share.
Pile them up.
But some were sleeping on the floor, huh?
No,
No, really?
no. No,
How
that's
did
how
you
we
sleep?
kept warm.
10
We all
of you?
peed the bed.
Cut.
Dolly Parton told Johnny Carson Carson that one time. She said I think there was 12 kids in her family, and she said, "Well, we all peed the bed." She said, "That's how we kept warm."
That sounds like
She
That
said
works
we
for
were
about
warm for a
15
little
minutes,
while.
yeah.
Whose turn to pee?
It's kind of like farting. You could always blame the other one.
Yeah.
What do you remember most about your teenage years?
Meaning what, kind of high school?
High school, you know, that's,
Kind of the same thing, I guess.
well, yeah. I remember having worked at Kroger's during my teenage years while I was in school. Had to make $1 or $2 every once in a while. But that was about it.
What were you doing, like sacking or helping people to their car? Or?
Now, not carrying out groceries and things like that.
Did they tip
Did
you,
you
or
sack?
did you
Did
get
you sack groceries too?
Yeah. Some of them did, very few.
Yeah.
They discouraged us from taking tips, really. So, people just weren't tipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the time, I don't know what it was. But
I just thought of a question. What we were talking about earlier, playing outside. What did y'all do that your mothers that didn't want you to do? What did y'all do that kind of got you in trouble sometimes?
nothing.
That was easy, wasn't it? And I believe that.
Tell me a hard
Is there too many to talk?
Well, we were cautioned to be careful out in the street playing ball, hitting the ball and breaking windows and things like that. Well, we broke a few in the garage. But that was the main thing.
I remember for us, it was going down to the creek. Y'all didn't want us to go down to the creek and play.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
So we always went to the creek.
That's the first place.
First place.
Yeah, you had to walk down the street and cross Section Avenue. And, am I thinking of the right place, or is that where I used to go?
That's where you used to
So you're answering the question.
Oh boy, that was just where the woods was, over across Section Avenue.
Yeah.
Go over there and explore.
For us, it was on the back side of the Connor's house. Just there on Dixon, just across the street behind those houses. That was nothing but fields back there.
Yeah, right.
True.
Yeah, it was an adventure to be had all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Started a few fires and cut down some trees.
I
And
know when you all left every morning, that Mom, after you got away, Mom locked the door.
Yeah.
We'll see him tonight.
I always remember kind of half jokingly that when Mom wanted me out of the house all day, she'd be sure to cook peanut butter fudge. The smell of peanut butter fudge cooking just made me ill, and I just hightailed out of there as soon as I could.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, and I love peanut butter now. I didn't at that age. I still can't imagine actually eating peanut butter fudge as much as I like peanut butter.
Wow. What's the matter with him?
that's a whole nother session.
We haven't got time for that.
Gotta focus. What do you remember most about your mother and dad?
My dad was his laugh. Boisterous, loud laugh, and he would, anytime that he was outside, you could hear him laughing. And my mother, I don't know. I always wondered how in the world she came up with enough food for all of us.
Yeah.
Boy, isn't that the
You
truth?
know,
I was just thinking that, how she would cook every night for
Well,
12 people?
she, well, actually, as soon as breakfast was over, she would they would buy beans and potatoes in big, 50-pound bags, probably.
Okay.
And she would get out so many beans and start looking through them, to make sure there were no little rocks in them and stuff. And as soon as breakfast was over, she'd put the pot of beans on the wood stove, on the coal, would burn coal instead of wood. And she'd put it on the stove and cook those beans. And if we came home, when we came home at lunch, sometimes if we didn't have anything else, she would dip soup off of those beans and fry some cornbread. And that was so good. I loved that.
Wow.
Fried cornbread.
Yeah, fried cornbread.
Yeah.
We love
Who knew?
Bob, and I
Oh, yeah.
introduced him to it,
Yeah.
so we both love it.
Yeah.
The
Can't
fried
remember
cornbread, yeah, just little patties,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good. And I know sometimes if somebody that had chickens gave us eggs or something, when I'd go home at lunch, sometimes I'd have a scrambled egg, and that was always so good. I have it on bread and put a slice of onion on that scrambled egg.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was good. I know the principal that used to come to our reunions, he reminded me of that. One time he said, I remember you'd come back from lunch eating that scrambled egg sandwich. And he said, oh man, that always sounded so good.
What about you, Dad?
Well, I don't remember much about Dad. I think, I remember as a kid, I remember him sitting and playing the guitar, but I don't remember much. I think I was about 7 when he left our family. But I don't remember much about him at all. But Mom, I remember her, what a tough life she had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know she had to go to work. I felt for
Where
her.
does she go work?
I can't remember the name of the place now. It was only about 3 blocks up the street. Some kind of a,
Playing cards, wasn't
huh?
it? Was it playing cards?
No, later on,
Oh.
she went there after this other place
Okay.
closed up.
Fisher Body? Was it Fisher Body?
No, no. But she had a,
It was factory work, wasn't it?
yeah, kind of like factory work, yeah. But she had a tough life.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so pleased when after we were all gone from home and
Yeah.
married off and everything, she got married.
Yeah.
So, the latter part of her life was so much better than the first part.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she never showed it. I mean, when we knew her, you never picked up on any of that.
Mhm.
Right.
She was always happy and always, I remember her laugh.
Yeah,
When we would do something to make her laugh, tears would just roll. And she'd laugh so hard.
Yeah, she sure would.
What was the most important to each of your parents?
Say that again.
What was most important to each of your parents?
I think my mom was keeping us in church. That was probably number one, I guess. As far as Dad, I don't know. You go ahead.
Well, I don't really, I guess most of Mother's time was spent, you know, cooking and trying to make meals for us. And of course, Daddy was working in the coal mines. He was, but so much of the time that I remember, Daddy worked nights.
Really?
Yeah.
So they were running the coal mine
Yeah.
24 hours a day?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
How old were you when your dad died?
15. I had just turned 15, the end of April, and he died the 3rd of May. I don't, 3rd of May or 5th of May. So it, just like a week, I was like 15 in a week.
Wow.
Pretty unexpected, I guess,
You
too,
know,
wasn't it?
well, no, he had been sick with heart problems for years.
Mm-hmm.
And had been off work, had not been able to work for at least a couple of years. And his first day back at work, he died.
Oh, my.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. They had just stopped and ate their bucket lunch, I guess, whatever they had. And they were going to push some kind of a motor car out of the way. And they all just kind of leaned up against it. And I'm sure that he didn't, I guess there was a bunch of them, so probably wasn't strenuous for him. It was just, he was so weak, I guess.
Did he feel a lot of pressure to go back to work, do you think? Was it?
No, he was wanting to go back to work. He was begging them to let him go back
No
to work. Yeah.
How did the company take care of you guys? Did they do a good job of taking care of you when he went out?
Well, you know, I guess so, because it was union. You know.
I just wonder how y'all got along when he was sick and couldn't work, and
I don't know.
where did the money come from?
I don't know.
What?
They must have had a way to get money to your mom, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know.
You feeding 10 kids?
Well, by that point, you had brothers working in the coal mine, didn't you?
No, the only one that did was Jackie. And we didn't know that he was working in the mines. He told Mother he was going in and working on their machines. Mother never did know that he worked in the coal mines.
Wow.
And we didn't know until after it was over
Huh.
that he had worked in the coal mines. We thought it the same thing. We believed him.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
I imagine the money was, he probably made more money, I bet, going in the mine.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Wow.
I don't know.
Did y'all, instead of getting paid in dollars, were y'all paid in those?
Script.
Script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you needed to go out that worked in town, but if you ever left town,
Yeah, we had to change it, and I can't remember, you get like 80 cents for $1 or something, maybe.
oh my.
Wow.
I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I don't know if that's the right amount, but
That kept you pretty close to home, I bet.
yeah.
Wow.
What's that?
If we can, we might change camera batteries.
Okay.
It
Time out.
should be dying in about a minute. Yeah, we got about 4 minutes, but I'll stop it.
You want more coffee, Mike?
Sure.
When?
When? Okay, Mike, you're the guy.
Master of ceremonies.
How did you meet your spouse and know that he or she was the one?
You want to go ahead?
Well,
She can answer for
we
both
met,
of
we
you.
met at work.
We meant to work.
The first day that I went to work.
First day?
He didn't waste time, did he?
First day.
No. And then he kept wanting me to play on, he and another guy had the women's, was it softball?
Uh-huh.
Softball team there at work. And he kept asking me to come and play ball. Well, I was the least ball playing looking thing you ever saw.
I meant to, I just really wanted her to come.
Yeah, we figured that.
And I think we started dating right away, didn't we?
Right away, yeah, sure did.
And that was it.
What was the name?
3
of the
months
young
later,
couple?
we
3
were
months
married.
later. yeah.
Wow,
3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
3 months until you were engaged, or until you were married?
Get married.
Married.
Okay.
They eloped.
We eloped.
Yeah.
Went to Indiana.
Indiana.
What was the name of that town?
Lawrenceburg.
Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Sure did. And
Why Indiana? Is there a reason?
yeah, that was, well, that's one that's had reputation, I guess.
Yeah, that you can go and get married before, when your parents didn't want you to.
Oh, okay.
When you were too young, you know,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Y'all were how old?
17 and
18. Uh-huh.
How'd your parents feel about that?
Well, my mother was probably relieved to get one out of the house.
One down. Less potatoes.
I think it kind of scared her because, of course, they didn't know him. They'd never met him or
That's right.
anything. But
Were you the first one to get married out of your family?
first one, yes. Well, of course, Trina, but they were. Trina was 13 years older than me, so
Yeah.
she was married.
Okay.
But yeah, out of the regular bunch of us, I was the first one.
Which side was Trina from?
Daddy,
Okay.
he had 2 children, Trina and her brother Burley. I don't know if y'all ever met Burley.
Never did.
Burley was an alcoholic.
Huh.
I think I only met him once, didn't I?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a really sad life. I mean, he was just a very good person and everything when he wasn't drinking, but
Yeah.
alcohol just really messed him up.
Did he have a family or was he?
No,
himself?
never married. Never had a family or anything.
How did your mom feel when y'all eloped?
I don't think it upset her too much. She liked Wilma. I brought her around the house several times, and I don't think it upset her.
No, I don't think so. She was
Wilma seemed to
always
fit right in.
She was always so good to me, and
Yeah,
uh,
it got along right from the very beginning.
he used to say, if anything ever happened to us, Mom would probably pick you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those guys can identify.
You almost disappointed me.
I've heard that one.
All right.
So on the place where you met, was that employer called Trailmobile?
Trailmobile, uh-huh.
What type of work were you doing?
I did payroll for that plant, and that was home office, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I did payroll for all the plants. I was just out of high school, so
A little pressure.
Yeah.
that I know the personnel director that interviewed me for the job. He said, "Are you good with figures?" I said, "Well, I can add and subtract."
Hired.
He said, "Okay."
Good enough.
And what type of work were you doing?
I was in the scheduling department, scheduling the trammobiles coming to and from and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What's a trailmobile?
It's kind of
Big
like
trailer.
a big trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hide behind an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay.
Yeah. That was a big thing back then.
Yeah.
So that was a manufacturing plant?
Yes.
Maybe?
Yeah, sure did.
Okay.
It was quite an operation, really. And like I say, that we had plants around the country, but I don't know when it all happened, but it disappeared, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, they closed, I don't know.
How long afterwards? Probably after we left, it closed down.
Just caved right in.
They just couldn't make it without us.
That's right.
So did y'all not continue to work there after you got married, or you did continue?
Well, of course,
You got pregnant pretty.
I got pregnant pretty quick,
Yeah,
and,
you quit.
I quit. Well, and then, when I got pregnant, they started looking for a payroll, person to take my place, and,
So things were different, weren't they? Because they weren't expecting you to work right up to the time you delivered.
right. But, the girl they hired didn't know beans, but she supposedly was an experienced payroll clerk.
Mhm.
And I was having to lead her through everything, and they started her out paying her more than I was making. And that really upset me. So I left one day for lunch and didn't return.
She showed them.
Yeah.
And afterwards they closed down.
That just closed down the whole thing.
So you were just out of a job one day? Is that, I mean,
No, I stayed there for a while.
Well, they were laying off people. I know, of course, I would get the layoff names before anybody else. But, and I know the day that his name came through to be laid off, I told him, and I wasn't supposed to, but of course I did.
Yeah.
He started looking for a job after that. I think you found a job before you actually were laid off, didn't you?
Yeah. Went to work at Rainbow Bakery.
Yeah, yeah.
What, was that in Cincinnati?
Yeah, it was just barely out of Norwood, over in just a street off into Cincinnati. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good place to work.
Yeah.
So,
Of course, when you said you worked in the payroll department, that probably made you real proud when I did that many years ago.
Had probably
Probably made you real proud when I did the payroll many years ago.
that I raised a payroll.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Success.
what made you successful at work?
Good job.
When I worked for the schools, I think it was liking kids,
Yeah.
and they liked me.
You were an attendance clerk
Uh-huh.
with Irving Independent School.
Yeah. At Barton.
And then once you were principal secretary there at some point, weren't you?
No, I never
Okay.
was secretary.
Okay. I thought you were at some point. I don't know why I thought that.
No. Let's see. When I went to work, it was, can't remember her name. But anyway, then she moved up to the administration building as somebody's secretary. And Janice Law,
Mm.
then she was wonderful to work with.
Yeah.
And she and I worked for years, I guess, until she retired.
Mm.
That she and I worked together.
Yeah.
But
Was she the principal secretary, or was she? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And then after she left, I had thought, well, I'll probably just quit, you know. Or,
Yeah.
but I wrote a letter, and that at the end of the school year, and said if anything opened up, like in library or that type of thing, to be a library aide, that I would like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a call. Well, we were gone, and when we came home, the phone was just full of messages, and it was the principal or vice principal at one of the schools calling, trying to get me to come to work at the library. And the last 3 years at that job, I worked as a library aide, and
Yeah,
I love that.
I bet.
Yeah, I'd read all kinds of kids' books, you know, because the fifth grader girls would come and ask me, Miss Kinsman, what's a good book to read? Or if they needed a book report or something, you know.
What made you successful at work?
Well, I think the guy I worked for there, first of all, in the office at Rainbow, Bill Lehman, spent so much time with me, teaching me the business. And of course, back then our company was always looking for people, you know, young people to come along. And Bill just opened up everything to me in the office.
Yeah.
And got me the promotion. First place I went there was New Albany, Indiana, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
New
Yeah.
Albany. We lived in New Albany, and that's where the bakery was. I worked between that one and across the river into Louisville. But,
Between those two bakeries?
mainly in New Albany.
Okay.
Then had to go over to Louisville a couple, 3 times a week or something like that.
Putting out fires.
Well, it's kind of helping.
Training horses.
Yeah.
Training horses.
They have an old timer over there. And he just needed a little help.
Well, wasn't there, there was somebody before Bill Neiman, wasn't there? Wasn't there, didn't you have a boss besides Bill Neiman first?
Yeah, sure did. And he
You
he
liked
went to
him?
California. He moved to California. Transferred him to California. I can't remember his name even.
I know you liked him though.
Yeah, sure did. He was.
I was
He's the
gonna
one that hired me.
say, I was gonna say, he might have been the one that did more training,
No, I got more from Bill.
did you?
Yeah, because this other fellow wasn't there too long after
Oh,
I
okay.
came in. But Bill spent a lot of time training me. And I needed a lot of time.
I doubt that.
Kind of like training Jeff.
Yeah.
Lots of attention.
There you go.
It's pretty key getting that guy with you that sort of mentors you, and
Yeah.
Very much.
that's a big deal.
It certainly is.
I remember that for myself, just in the insurance industry like I'm in now. You know, I had been 25 years into my career, I guess, you know, as CPA or controller or CFO, back and forth. But, you know, had this opportunity to get into the insurance industry as an auditor. And I remember having big reservations about that, you know, thinking, man, this is a very unique industry that I know nothing about. I've got 25 years behind me, but I, you know, had a mentor, Marty Cullen, that just spent all kinds of time with me. You know, he always said, you know, if you ever have any questions, I'm on the other end of my cell phone. Just give me a call anytime. We'll, you know, we'll talk about it.
It's great to remember somebody like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
What do you believe about yourself that helped you become successful and deal with hard times?
Probably the way we grew up.
The what?
I said probably the way we grew up, not having
Yeah.
a lot of anything, you know. I guess we learned to do without.
I like that.
Learn how to overcome.
Yeah.
What time in your life truly tested your mettle? And what did you learn about yourself in dealing with that?
Ooh.
I'm thinking of Jeff. But go ahead.
But never mind that.
Besides that,
Yeah.
well, probably, man, I can imagine having a baby at 17 and 18 had to be a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, jokes aside, I can't even imagine what that was like.
Yeah.
Kind of changed our lives.
Yeah.
No question about that.
But I think we both, even as young as we were, we knew that you were our responsibility and we had to, you know, take care of you.
Right.
Where today, I don't, it seems like people don't have that
Yeah.
feeling or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Both of you lost one of your parents when you were young. I mean, that had to be hard too, I would think.
Yeah, yeah. Well, of course, Dad,
Not so much for me.
probably not so much. He wasn't close to his dad, but it was, losing my dad was really a big deal to me.
That must be Mark's.
It's mine.
Oh, is it?
I had the ringer turned on for some reason. Thanks, sorry.
Is it time to change?
I can read them and then not remember any of them.
All right.
All right.
We are
Go
good.
What do you remember about when each of us was born?
First one.
Do we want to do this again?
Oh.
Were you ready to give in after that first one?
What? Where did you go? Did you go to a hospital or did you have the baby at home? Had him?
Yes, I went to the hospital.
That's what I thought.
On the sofa.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, probably what every woman says. I don't think there's not ever a feeling like that when you have a baby. It's just, I don't know.
Probably especially the first.
Well, no, each one is.
Well,
Even Mark?
you mean they're all
Even
special?
Mark,
Wow. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Even Mark.
Wow. Next.
You don't want to elaborate? What 3 words represented your approach to parenting and why?
Ooh.
3 words.
Our approach to parenting.
See, the 3 words I'm thinking probably won't work here. My 3 words might not be your 3 words.
Probably.
Well, with Jeff, certainly perseverance had to be in the list.
I don't know. Move on. Do you have an answer there?
No.
That's a good question.
When you think about one of your siblings, how would you describe them? Lonnie.
We got along well, I guess. Pretty well.
How much older was he?
How old was he?
How much older? Wasn't he older?
A couple of years, yeah,
Okay.
a couple of years older. And I think we did the same thing. I mean, we played ball all the time together, and we weren't close, but maybe that's normal with brothers. I don't know, but I don't remember ever having kidding around and goofing off like you guys do together. We never did that. Never were that close.
Your life was a little more serious maybe at times.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
What about with your sisters?
But we just got along.
Yeah.
That's about it. I don't think I was ever really close to them either. But, you know, when you're a teenager and you have a couple younger sisters, they're just younger sisters.
Right.
You know?
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that can happen with brothers too, you know.
Well, yeah.
Lonnie might have, I mean, you know, we weren't always cutting up with each other.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Back then, for us, you know, just barely over a year difference was a difference, and, you know, it was a significant difference. And, you know, I had my things going on, and he did too.
yeah. Well, I knew I was the smartest one all the time in our family.
Obvious one.
That's why. I think that's why Lonnie went off to the Navy or something.
They got fed up with it.
Yeah, I got fed up with it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What about your siblings?
Well, there was a lot of us, but
yeah.
I don't remember ever fighting or not getting along
Huh.
with
Yeah, and that's unique.
That
brothers
is.
and sisters.
Yeah.
Especially with so many.
Yeah.
Well, the house wasn't big enough.
You didn't have room to fight.
That's right.
I'll bet mom and dad weren't having it either. I mean, that many people that close together, they probably wouldn't have had a whole lot of tolerance for it, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, probably true.
Hmm.
But I don't remember my mother and her siblings ever fussing or not getting along with each other. You know, now you hear of families not speaking to each other for years, and I don't get that.
Yeah.
We were always close to each other.
Need help with a word?
Let me sound it out.
Describe.
Some of these are repetitive, so. When you think about your spouse, how would you describe him or her?
She's very tolerant of me.
Number one.
She's put up with me for 67 years. That has to be a lot of tolerance.
Well, on both sides.
What 3 words best describe who you tried to be in life and how you want to be remembered?
Good parent. I'd like to be remembered as being a good parent.
Nailed it.
Check.
Yeah. You're up.
When your children think about their careers, what do you want them to focus on?
Well, what are you all focused on now?
Coming home? No.
Say that again.
That's a weird, I mean, it's almost like,
When you think about the careers of your children, what do you want your children to focus on?
Being successful.
Yeah.
Doing a good job.
Yeah, I guess, speaking for myself, I can remember years ago being so focused on work or the career. I got into a situation where I was working about 100 to 105 hours a week. And it was ridiculous. It was the most unhealthy I've ever been. But having been through that, I just kind of made a commitment. I'll never get into that situation again.
Another good
Stay with
commitment.
it.
Another good commitment to make.
Yeah. Now I'm focused on being the best retiree I can be.
You lost your parents, haven't you?
What career?
There you go.
Well, let me say, you still need to work on it.
Yeah. It takes commitment. I'm committing to that.
There you go.
Give me some time.
You're dedicated to it. What do you think the world needs more of right now?
Tolerance.
Yeah.
Just understanding each other, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Huh.
Or less of.
Or that's that's hard one to answer.
Mhm.
What do you believe people want the most of in life?
Happiness, success.
Money. I think
There you go.
Yeah.
people sometimes get money hungry.
Yeah.
Yep.
What were the 3 best decisions you ever made?
One, two, three.
Wow! I thought you was going to go 1, 2.
Next question, no.
So a lot of thought went into that, huh?
Wow. That was quick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to answer some of these myself, and I'm thinking, those are hard questions.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question? What are the 3?
Best decision.
Yeah, the 3 best decisions you ever made.
Getting married.
Yeah.
Leaving a job in time to not get lost with, not having any break in pay in there
Yeah, right.
when I left the company. That's 2 of them. Best decisions. I don't know which move, but I think moving was a good decision for us. We enjoyed moving.
Well, every place we've lived,
We've enjoyed.
Enjoyed it.
You know,
Yeah.
I can remember some non-moves y'all didn't make that might have been important decisions too. I mean, I remember a time when you were considering moving to, was it Alabama? You were pretty seriously considering moving there at one point?
well, I don't remember that. We might have been.
Yeah.
Do you remember ever thinking about moving there? Or what?
No,
Any reason we would have thought about it?
I thought you were offered a job in Fort Payne because I remember you telling me that we were.
In
Did
Fort
y'all-
Payne, I worked there for years.
Yeah, but I thought you were considering moving there at one point.
I don't know.
Yeah, we may have. I can't imagine it now, but it's likely.
The reason I remember it is because it was between my junior and senior year. I remember being pretty caught up in, I don't want to move. You know?
Yeah, right.
But
Well, I guess I was locked in on a job then and thought it was best to move there. I thought I'd run that place one day. Little did I know.
Well, we always liked Fort Payne.
Oh yeah, sure did.
It's a small town and
right. Life might have been real different.
That's what it was.
Well, speaking of Fort Payne, what do you recall about the plane crash? you know,
No.
the Camel Taggart.
Not a whole lot about it. I was at the airport waiting for the plane to come in
Okay.
when it all happened.
You were at Fort Payne Airport?
Airport, but yeah,
See,
waiting
he
for the
was
plane.
supposed to be on that plane
Right.
Yeah,
and had gone the day before.
went the day before, but the plane would have gone from Dallas to Chattanooga, and then a small plane would bring them on to Fort Payne.
Okay.
And I was at the airport waiting for them.
Wow.
Quite a shocker.
Yeah.
What was the circumstance you not being on the plane?
I went on ahead for some reason. I don't.
You said you had a lot of work to get done before the meeting or something.
Yeah.
So being a workaholic's not always a bad thing.
That's right. It wasn't. It
Right.
wasn't that time.
Right.
I felt like I had to go on, and when I got there, I was glad I did. We had plenty to do.
Well, and we were concerned because when that happened, it was about to go on the news about the crash. And it was at lunchtime for y'all at your work. And we were afraid that y'all would hear it on the news and wouldn't know your dad wasn't on that plane. Because I'm not sure that they knew you went on ahead.
I doubt that they did.
Because it was kind of a last minute decision, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
we were afraid that y'all would hear it.
Mhm.
And we were trying desperately to get in touch with y'all
Yeah,
to let you know,
he was okay.
yeah, that he wasn't on it.
Yeah.
But that was really a bad time.
That was a hard one to take. You know.
Yeah.
So how many guys were on the plane?
I can think of 3 right now, but there might have been more. I could only think of 3.
3 guys from Camel Taggart?
Yeah. They're all Campbell Taggart people.
Oh, okay, I was thinking there was Jack in the
Well,
Box.
there was a Jack in the Box.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, there
He
was,
was the only one that lived, wasn't he?
yeah. Jack in the Box, I believe.
Wasn't
Food
it
maker.
Jack in the Box?
Food Maker.
Food, okay.
That's the parent company.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize anybody survived.
Yeah,
I thought there were 2 food makers. One survived, and one was killed. I think.
Just one person survived.
Wow.
I really had forgotten Food Maker was on
Yeah,
there.
but I think you're right, I think it was just one person that survived.
Right.
Hard to imagine how one survived out
Yeah.
of that.
No
I
kidding.
know.
It wasn't his time, that's for sure.
There were 2 Camel Taggart pilots.
Yeah.
Jay Kaiser. Tim Merritt?
Tim Merritt, was he on there?
I can't
Yeah, I
remember.
believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
No, not both sexes. Tom Burnett, was he on there?
I don't think so.
No,
No, I remember Tom later.
Yeah.
Big Tom.
Tom's the one that came and found me. I was at Campbell Taggart because I was working there.
Oh,
He's the
okay.
one that came and found me. And
Was he?
Because he said, you're going to hear about it.
Uh,
He told me, he said that you were okay.
yeah. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
That wasn't a good experience.
Sorry. Well, this is probably repetitive, but what were the 5 most positive moments of your life?
1, 2, 3, 4. 5.
Gotta come up with another one.
Yeah. Most positive moments. Go ahead, Wilma, while I think. Positive moments. Well, I can think of 2 or 3 when I get promoted. Those are certainly positive
Yeah.
times. That probably accounts for at least 5. Can you come up with some?
no.
How about just a slight modification? How about just most memorable moments? It was favorite memories, over the years. But
I think for me, it was going to Yellowstone National Park and
Really? That's cool.
You know, seeing some of the things that I've read about in history, Old Faithful and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. We loved going there, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Did you go there more than once?
No, just at one time.
Okay.
And then when we went to Canada, that was really a good trip.
And that was up toward Nova Scotia?
That was, we had planned to go to Nova Scotia. But
Winter.
winter was coming on, and we were on a little tour one day, and somebody asked the tour guide, "What's the earliest that you remember having snow here?" And he said, "Well, I think I've remembered having snow by Thanksgiving." I thought, well, that's not so bad, Thanksgiving, the end of November. And then somebody that was really thinking said, "When is your Thanksgiving?" Well, whatever he said was just a few days.
Just a day or two.
Just a few days
So
away.
it wasn't our Thanksgiving.
No, it wasn't our Thanksgiving. And we three looked at each other, me and Trina and Bob looked at each other, and we better get out of here. We're going to be stuck here for the winter, you know, which wouldn't be very pleasant in
No.
Oh, we headed south in a hurry.
Boy, yeah, that's hard. I mean, I imagine driving that thing was hard enough with the weather nice and all that.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what it'd be like with bad weather.
I can't either. No, that's when he wanted to give it up. I was perfectly fine with that because I didn't drive it. I thought, you know, it's up to him because he's the one that does it all. So
We had a lot of good years
Yeah, we
traveling
did. we did.
all over the West. We went all through the West,
We did.
all through Colorado and up. What's the next? Did we get to Arizona? I don't think we got to Arizona. But we went on up north. to
Wyoming and
Montana.
Montana. We touched on Montana,
Mhm.
then came back across.
Uh,
But we've been to quite a few places.
Mhm.
Montana and Idaho.
Idaho, yeah, remember them. We had a lot of good years traveling. I was awful thankful that I was able to retire at age 59 and we could take up this traveling thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just, you know, we had many good years.
Yeah.
Y'all had the dream retirement, I think.
We
Yeah,
really
we
did,
did.
Jeff.
We did.
We really did.
I mean, healthy all these years.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and financially secure. It's what everybody dreams of.
Yeah.
Were you forced into an early retirement, or did you choose to retire when you did?
Well, I chose because they offered me a job in St. Louis. You know, the company sold out to Anheuser-Busch, and they were moving people to St. Louis. I knew I used to call on them up there in Alton and St. Louis, and I knew I didn't want to live in that part of the country. And I knew she wouldn't be interested in St. Louis either.
Mhm.
So we decided the next best thing was we didn't want to move,
Yeah.
so we just retired.
We'll show them one more time.
They called him a long
Yeah.
time,
Trying to get him to come
trying
back.
to get him to,
Well, and I'm just
Okay.
helping a little bit, you know,
but,
just helping them a little bit too.
yeah, they had told him that he could make his own schedule, and we could travel together, and all this stuff, and
Didn't want to go to St. Louis.
of course, he had that heart problem, and
Mhm.
he really didn't need that stress,
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
it was a good move for us.
because even though they were making it sound ideal, we
Yeah.
knew it wouldn't be
We knew
too
better.
long till it would be a rat race again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good decision.
Yeah.
What are some, again, back on the traveling stuff, what are some of your favorite memories in the traveling through the years?
I always enjoyed San Francisco. All the weirdos.
Yeah.
Whoever I was traveling with then, Bill Bowden and somebody, when we go to San Francisco, we'd go downtown and stand around and just watch people. And this one time, this woman came by and said, "You're three of the dumbest looking guys." She took off.
That was back when it was, I mean, that was kind of hippies and it's crazy times, wasn't it?
That's right, out there it was. We'd stand around and watch them. They were watching us, I guess.
Wow.
Y'all had the same idea about each other.
Funny you should mention that.
I was thinking the same thing.
What about you, Mom? What about traveling? What are some of your favorite?
Well, like I said, we loved Colorado, and when we went to the where did I just say before?
Idaho and Wyoming.
Yeah.
Montana?
Yellowstone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Jackson Hole,
Yeah.
Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Yeah.
That was we loved that.
Yeah.
We loved Wyoming, and
Well, we just enjoyed most places we traveled.
yeah, we did.
Sure did.
It was, I'm sure it was fun. Y'all weren't real big on putting together schedules and following it. I mean, y'all just went when you wanted to,
We
didn't
just
you?
went, yeah.
If we got somewhere we liked, we stayed there too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We didn't. We'd move on to the next one. So
Yeah.
that was what was fun. You know, just not being held to a schedule,
Mhm.
Right.
doing what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
When you were doing that, were you out for a week at a time or a month at a time or what?
We were going for more than. Well, we took some long trips. Didn't we?
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't say months, but I'd say we were gone for over a month on one of these trips, wouldn't you?
Mhm. Yeah.
Maybe 4 to 6
You
weeks or
know,
whatever.
just going all over the country.
Yeah.
We were gone for a long time.
Yeah.
We had Trina with us most of the time, didn't
Well, no, because Trina was still working,
we? Was she?
but now she went to Canada with us,
Okay.
and
Did y'all ever take Mike along? Was he?
no, he was already working, and
Okay.
I don't know where.
Camel Tiger.
Were you at Camel Tiger then? Okay. Well, you used to be at Camel Tiger too, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, you weren't there
Good
long.
college job. I drove a fruitcake truck.
Yeah.
Drove a donut delivery truck. Get up at about 3 in the morning to do that.
oh my goodness,
I don't remember donut delivery.
Yeah. Some janky places, you know. I mean, you get there 5 o'clock, I guess, to deliver donuts.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah.
Anyway,
But they were probably opening them about then, 5 or
Yeah.
6.
yeah. What?
I was gonna say I learned how to drive a stick shift. It was when Sean and I got married. I borrowed a truck from Research, Camel Taggart Research, and they said you can drive a stick, right? And I said sure. I think it goes up here.
you just thought they meant a stick.
Oh, not a broomstick. Huh?
Oh, boy.
You know,
It's about time to stop this.
Oh, is it?
Close. Couple of minutes.
I'm out of questions anyway, so that's good.
Okay.
one of the things I like hearing Mom talk about is when Dad was traveling, you know, and we were all home. I mean, I remember that being pretty. I'm sure it was tough on you. I can't.
It sure was.
Because I mean, Mike and Mark didn't behave real well. But
No, I'll give Mom the credit for raising you guys. She had the biggest part of that because I was gone so much. For so
Well,
many
and
years.
y'all, I mean, compared to kids today, y'all were good kids.
Yeah.
We didn't really have, we didn't really have have a whole lot to complain about.
Jeff's
That was a good
arrest,
thing, too.
Jeff's arrest record was pretty short.
Yeah.
Was it?
Short enough to let me get some jobs I wanted later.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna stop that segment there. Today, for the wine walk, Valerie was telling Jovi Rose what they were gonna do, and said, we're gonna go on a wine walk. And was kind of letting her know that, so anyway, Jovi really focused on the word walk.
Wine. Oh,
Walk. And she was kind of disappointed that there was only walking from one winery to another.
Oh,
And, we were all sitting there enjoying the beautiful weather and just chatting and sipping on a little wine. And, when are we going to walk?
you like me.
Yeah.
you just missplit her. Mm-mm.
We'll have to call it the wine trail next time or something.
Now, Jeff, what was your question?
Well, I guess I just was thinking how young y'all were, and I was remembering, like when we played football out on Dixon Drive, and it was pretty cool because you were always into you were playing. I mean, it was like
Commissioner.
the commissioner.
Well, yeah, but right across the street from us, remember how he used to get out there?
Lynn Conner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to like to get out there and throw that ball too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't last though. Not like you did. Not like he might have been a little older than you were. I don't remember.
I don't know.
You were all-time quarterback. I just remember all that.
We had some real good games out in the street, didn't we?
Man, Thanksgiving, and we'd all get done eating, and then it seemed like 40 of us would land in the street trying to figure out how to play a big game.
Well, I think the kids around there kind of found out about how y'all
Yeah, they
played in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think neighbors must have known we were out there, so there's not been much traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There wasn't much traffic on our road anyway.
Every Christmas we'd play the toilet bowl.
I forgot about that.
And whether it was 70 degrees or 10 degrees, we'd always play shirts and skins.
Oh man.
We played rain or shine, ice or sun, whatever.
Yeah.
And then what was it during the summertime? Wiffle ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played wiffle ball, yeah.
I can remember, I mean, I still think about it. I mean, you were in your 30s when I graduated high school, and Mark too, I guess. I mean, that's pretty amazing when you think about how young you were. Well, I remember you kind of played basketball with us one time. And
Yeah.
I remember
Where did we go up to school?
somewhere, I don't remember where we were going, but I mean, I just thought, this is pretty great because, I mean, my dad's still young enough and athletic enough to play basketball with us.
Yeah.
18-year-olds or 17, wherever we were, 16, I don't know.
We had fun. Didn't last though.
Well,
Wow.
I remember you hurting your, I remember you played pretty hard. You got competitive and you ended up kind of hurting your back one day.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You played, you had to play hard. That's
Yeah.
That's all there was to it. Everybody else worked on it.
I remember doing the same thing, getting out there trying to play with Robbie when he was a little older, and playing pretty well. They go, "Wow, Dad can really move," and then oh, pull the hammy. Okay, guys, I'm done.
Got sneezed too hard.
Yeah.
Pull the ground.
The good old days, huh?
Focus on old, yeah.
I just remember Mom, when we were all home and Dad was traveling, just how those weeks, how that all went, I think we took a lot of that all for granted until I was a little older and started realizing how, when you were figuring out how we'd all eat every day and it was just
Yeah.
that was pretty great.
Can't give her enough credit.
No.
Mm.
And I remember There was, I mean, you kind of would go between wait till your dad gets home.
Did you ever use it?
Which way?
You're gonna be in trouble.
But then I remember you taking it, I remember you taking control of it sometimes too, and going ahead and whooping our butts without him being around.
What'd she use, a fly swatter?
Yeah, on occasion. I'm trying to remember what else.
Whatever she could grab.
I remember one time, I was fixing y'all something in the oven, and I had the door up there above the cabinet
I remember this.
door, and I raised up from the oven,
Oh,
hit the corner of the cabinet. Oh man, I saw stars and everything else. And I
I said,
grabbed my
shoot.
head. I didn't know if it was cut. I didn't know if I was bleeding or not because it felt like it. But I grabbed my head and I said, "Oh darn!"
That's not what you said.
Well, Mark couldn't wait till Dad got home.
She's cussing up Storm.
Guess what, Mom?
Dad's like, I'm surprised that's all she did.
Mark told Dad he needed to tell him something.
Yeah.
Dad said, "Well, go ahead. What do you need to tell me?"
It's very serious.
Well, Mark kept looking between me and his dad.
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Well, Mom cussed." He said, "She did? Well, what did she say?" "I'm not allowed to say." I said, "Well, you can tell me what." And at this time I'm thinking, gosh, wonder what I'll say. Anyway, Mark finally told his dad, she said, "Darn."
We're all so disappointed.
Oh, Lord.
I guess as a family, we've had a good time together. Wow.
Y'all have any questions you want to ask us?
Oh, I'm afraid you did. Where did you come up with all that? Did you guys come up with this?
Jeff and Mark did on the internet.
Just,
Oh, on the internet?
just a list of questions to ask your parents.
Oh.
No
I
kidding.
I think maybe I had seen it also, those years ago when I sent that to you. It was an article title that caught my attention, something like interview questions I wished I had asked my dad.
Oh,
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
well, they were good ones.
I remember you telling us a story when we went to Florida. Tell it again about after your dad had left, and you and Lonnie, y'all used to ride your bikes and do paper routes early in the morning
Oh, yeah.
before you went to school, I think. That's how you helped your mom
Yeah.
make money. And
I just thought I only made $5 a week.
But that probably was a lot for her.
Yeah. I think so.
Probably
Enough
was
to
a
put a
big
little
deal.
food on the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
you each had a paper route, didn't you?
Uh-huh. Sure did, both in Norwood there. He went Norwood Avenue and I think I went Harris. I don't know, vice versa. Yeah, I remember those.
So you each had a bike, it sounded like.
Walked.
No kidding.
Really?
We had a
You
bike,
didn't have
we'd
bikes?
ride our bike up to White Castle where the people were there, getting the paper routes going and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We'd leave our bikes up there and then walk the route
Oh,
all the way down. Now they'd pick us up at the end of it, and they knew about how long it would take, so they'd pick us up down there.
who would pick you up? The paper guys that
Uh-huh.
delivered them?
The woman and the guy, yeah. I think the woman drove it most of the time.
Well, it's been sad watching the newspaper business fall off the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our guy was such a nice guy, and we quit taking the paper because we weren't reading it. It wasn't worth reading.
Yeah.
We did the same.
We did the same thing.
Yeah.
He'd come by and he'd even throw the paper for a week or two, or once a week forever, trying to get us to come back to it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
I don't think anybody takes a paper around, and they probably don't even have paper routes anymore delivered. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Never see anybody driving in our neighborhood. Well, I do. Occasionally see a guy in a car that comes by and puts one in a mailbox.
Probably the Knoxville paper, you think?
Well, probably so.
And probably here it would be the Dallas
Yeah.
Morning News or,
Mhm.
Yeah,
But just an occasional mailbox, they put that paper in.
Mhm.
right.
But back then, I'm sure everybody got the paper. I mean,
Yeah.
you throwing it about every house, I bet.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Part of it. The good old days.
Mhm.
How'd you like that zero?
Didn't take long.
It's about the right amount though,
About
isn't
the
it?
right amount and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get you something
How
else.
many ounces is that?
Probably about 5.
No, that's more than that.
8 probably.
I don't know. I can't read
I don't have my contacts in, so I should be able to read it. 12 ounces.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dad, when you were in high school, did you play any sports?
No.
Football, baseball?
Uh-uh.
No,
I'm busy
when
on
we
paper
first-
route.
When we first got married, he played on the church team, church baseball team,
Softball.
softball,
Yeah.
and that was our entertainment. We were at the ball field almost every night, and most of the mothers had babies,
it. Mhm.
and just,
And you had him.
but that was kind of our outing, you know, that I would get with people and got to talk to somebody besides a baby.
Mhm. I can remember, I mean, when I think back to the very earliest memories, I remember one time, I remember some nights at the I literally can remember some nights at the ballpark. I mean, I do remember that. And I remember
Remember what
some
about?
nights at the ballpark.
Oh,
Do you?
Yeah, I remember, yeah. And I can remember you in your National Guard uniform too. I remember,
oh, okay.
and this is stupid, but I can literally remember standing in a crib and seeing you in your National Guard uniform. And
Wow.
Wow.
I remember that.
Isn't that
Huh.
something?
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned crib. I feel like sometimes I can almost remember, being in the crib and learning to climb out and working with Jeff.
Working with
told
me.
Jeff-
Yeah.
You sure did.
That's why I remember being in the crib. I was there till I was 4.
I was going to say you were there long enough.
Yeah, I was thinking we were maybe early teenagers, something like that.
9 and 10.
He was perfect good to stay there.
How old you were when you first climbed out? But you would get on that top rail and then throw yourself out on the floor.
Gosh.
Well,
That's what happened.
that scared us to death, you know, because we thought if he ever lands on his head,
I'm not sure he did.
Make it worse than it is.
That's
I'm kind of thinking.
Probably explains a few things, don't it?
Jeff would have probably been fine in the crib for a while.
another year or two.
He wouldn't want to hurt himself.
Yeah.
But we had to go get twin beds, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, the other day I saw a picture on here of, I think it was you in your new bed that we had just bought. I haven't seen that picture very much though,
I don't
so it
know.
doesn't come up very
I
often.
think there's nearly 3,000 pictures on that.
Takes a while.
Is there that?
Yeah,
Every
I
time
bet there is,
yeah.
cause
there's still pictures that surprise me.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I think people add Okay, you know, as you go along, don't they?
Yeah, we're emailing pictures to it.
Yeah,
We wouldn't know how to put anything on it.
no.
Because you guys started it, didn't you? You put pictures on it.
Yeah.
Mark put zillions of them on there. That was a lot of work, I think.
Yeah, it must have been.
Where'd you get the pictures from? The albums that he had?
Well, we started with, the boxes of pictures that y'all had under the stairs
Okay.
at the house, and we had, Jeff had a lady scan all those pictures and, create files on the computer that we could use, and then I then moved all of those over to that. But, as she was scanning those, of course, it was, I think, all kind of automated to a certain extent. She probably had them in some sort of a scanning machine that's got an automatic feeder, so it was just throwing those things through there rapid fire, and
That's why once in a while one's upside down?
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think going through there that fast, it was creating some errors from time to time. So
Sure.
might have started with 4,000 pictures, maybe close to 5,000 pictures.
Wow.
And I went through those, and the ones that were clearly unusable errors and so forth, I just deleted because they were useless. But then I did, see a lot of them turn the wrong way and so forth, so I meticulously went through every single picture and tried to get them all turned, and probably missed one or
Every
more
once
along
in
the
a
way.
while, we'll see one, but very
Yeah.
few.
And other ones where maybe, do something unusual, like a pretty good picture, but a portion of it would be just nothing but green, just solid green or solid blue or solid black or whatever. And I would try to crop the picture and save something usable out of it. And, that would take a lot of time on a single picture.
I think what's funny is one of the things that's funny is in those are some people that nobody knows who they are.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
We come up with that a lot,
I went ahead and left them in there because I figured, well, they're their pictures.
They mean
something.
They mean something
Yeah.
to them.
I-
They know who they are.
Probably somebody you worked with at something. You know how you used to share your kids' pictures
Yeah.
with all the school pictures?
Yeah,
I'm sure there's people in there that
yeah, right.
we
Yeah, I
all
figured some of those were, just relatives that I didn't remember, I didn't know who they were.
Yeah, I know sometimes we'll see pictures in there and we'll look at each other, I don't know who that is.
There's a lot.
And a lot of times did you have some of, I know there's several in there of Tracy's family, and that's fine because we knew her parents and sisters, and everything, but like there's kids in there that we look at them and say, no, we know that's not any of our kids or any of our family even.
Huh. Well, I would think the closest I would come to that is maybe, in the Hewitt family, possibly. I tried not to put, like Chris, Kim, and Kelly's kids and so forth. 'Cause
Yeah.
I figured
Yeah, and so we didn't know their kids, but we knew
yeah,
her sister,
Yeah.
knew Tracy's sister, so.
right.
Well, it's been a good thing. We have
Yes, we
how
thoroughly
many
enjoyed
hours
that.
we've spent enjoying
Real,
that.
I mean, pictures that we haven't seen in years and years.
We feel the same way. We quit.
Yeah.
We've stopped shagging and messing with all the albums and all that stuff, and we just rely on that. And we don't leave it plugged in all the time, but
Yeah.
we do,
Yeah,
a bunch. And it's just nice knowing you don't have to keep up with the hard copy pictures
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
When you say you don't leave it on all the time, what do you mean by that? Are you manually shutting it off and turning it
Just
back.
plugging it in and, or not plugging it in.
Yeah, we don't even bother with that. It stays plugged in all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's in our bedroom at night, so, you know, if you, you know, turn over in bed or whatever, that's enough to activate it and get it to come back on.
Yeah.
So we just take you know, anything, like a piece of paper like that and lay it up in front of that, the eye
Sensor.
at the bottom. That way it won't pick us up.
I didn't realize it was motion.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh, yes.
Yeah, you can walk in the room and
Yeah.
it'll.
I think it
comes
does
on.
way more than I realized. We just plug it in and don't plug it in, you know.
Oh, okay.
And I noticed they've got their set where it stays on longer. Ours goes to a different picture.
That can be
Yeah.
adjusted.
Yeah.
Well, I
And a
mean,
lot of times, even as long as ours stays on, you know, at the last minute, Dad will say, "Who is that?" Or
then you can flip it back.
Back it
by
up.
the time I see it, then he can back it up and we look at it.
Okay.
Gotta learn how to do all that.
Yeah, that's been a wonderful, wonderful addition.
Yes, we
Yeah, we
really,
like it too. That was a good find.
really enjoyed that.
Well, I'm just curious, you know, we might have kind of touched on it, but I was thinking in grandkids, you know, what are some of the first memories, you know, occasions or events that come to mind that were really fun and memorable in regard to grandkids?
I think the time that you and Jeff emptied the bottle of Joy,
Oh, yeah. Never forget that.
the dishwashing soap in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Having a
And our
blast.
kitchen was about this big,
Yeah.
about this big. Oh my gosh.
I kept telling him we're gonna get in trouble.
Nah.
Never happened. We're doing them a favor. Cleaning
We're
the
cleaning
floor.
the
Oh
floor.
my goodness, I never had to use soap on that floor again.
Oh, you didn't have to, did you?
That's funny.
Man.
What else? Any other fun memories that come to
Memorable.
mind, you know, with grandkids or whatever?
Well, you know, I think about grandkids. The sad part is we haven't seen a lot of our grandkids at an early age.
Yeah.
One we haven't even seen, I haven't seen at all.
Graham? Wait, have you seen Graham?
No, we haven't seen Graham, but he's the only one.
That's
Well, I said
great
one.
grandkid,
Oh.
yeah, grandchild,
Yeah.
great grandson.
I remember funny with Jason. One day I don't remember what he was doing, and I kept telling him, "Don't do that." And next thing I know, he was doing it again. Finally, I said, "Jason, if you do that one more time, Mama's going to spank you." Well, I just got up and got the floss water that was laying close by and laid it by me. You know, his eyes got so big, he said, "Mama, are you just going to kill me like a fly?"
No, that's funny.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Splat. It's like a fly. That was a good one.
What do you remember about your mom and her pancake spatula?
Her what?
Her pancake turner or the spatula or whatever.
I remember one time I put something down in my pants because I knew I was gonna.
Pie pan, wasn't
My
it?
pants. I knew I was gonna
You outsmarted her.
get. You think she just laughed? Oh yeah, so clever.
I can remember kids doing that when I was gonna give them swats.
Oh, can you?
They have something in their
Put
pants.
something in, and of course, you know,
You hear it? or
yeah,
feel it?
it's obvious.
Yeah. Did you start laughing?
I did. It was funny.
Just remember how you did the same thing.
Yeah. You're not doing anything I didn't already think of. Go take care of that and come back and let's do them right.
When we were growing up, it was a switch. But you had to go get your own switch.
Get your own.
And you better get a good one rather than get one that's gonna break the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah. Get your own switch.
The good times.
Yeah, good old days.
And just think how good we were to y'all.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
No. Never saw the business end of a belt. Never once.
No.
Just heard about it.
No.
Tell us memories about your dad.
My dad was he was just a fun-loving person, and he was very loving, jolly. When my dad died, I just felt like my whole world had crashed. Because he was just, he always called me his little Diddy. Trina was Diddy when she was growing up, and then when I came along, I was little Diddy.
That's funny.
I'm sorry I never got to meet him. He
Yeah.
passed away several years
Wow.
before we met, before we got married.
That's pretty amazing when you think about it. I mean, you just look at what his life was. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing he had that kind of an outlook.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I met a lot of guys in his situation didn't have that kind of
yeah,
outlook.
yeah. My dad was a good guy, and my mother was too. I really can't complain about my mother, because I don't know what in the world.
She was always good to me.
Yeah,
She sure
I don't know
was.
what in the world we would have done, you know, because if we hadn't had the kind of mother we did, because she, and everybody, I can remember when Daddy died, that a lot of people, and Trina wanted to take Donnie. She wanted Donnie,
Mhm.
because Donnie was such a cute little thing.
Mhm.
And she could only afford to take one, but people would come to her and, you know, Miss Carter, I'll take so-and-so. And finally she just, you know, she'd just look at them, and finally she said, listen, nobody's taking any of my kids. And I mean, she was very serious. She wasn't going to go with that, you know, but I'm just glad she did keep us all together.
Yeah.
I don't know how in the world she did. She
Yeah.
got so little. Of course, back then, what a widow got was so little. And of course, with all of us kids, I think maybe she was getting like $10 a child. Can you imagine trying to raise kids on $10?
No.
I don't know how in the world she did. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dad, what do you remember? Well, let me shut this off. We got 25 seconds.
Some other folks and letting those little kids mess around. I don't even know what to expect, but it's some kind of a Halloween deal.
Something just
Well, I bet
talk
he'll
about one
enjoy
of these
it.
days.
Yeah.
I was wondering, there we go, I was gonna get this timer set. Well, I'll figure it out eventually.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Dad, what was your recollection of how Mom's brothers reacted to you when y'all started dating and then got married?
Well, I don't think I ever met any of them while we were dating,
No.
but the few times we got to see them, which was very seldom, They lived down in Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah. That's where Mom was from, it's Kentucky. Jabez.
He's asking you,
About her brothers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, how did her brothers react to you?
Well, very well.
the first time that we went home after we were married, that was the first time any of them met him.
Yeah.
And my brother R.C. was home that weekend, wasn't he?
I think so.
And you met him, and I think y'all got along fine.
I was tired, and I went in there and laid down on a bed, something or other, and somebody was coming in there making smart remarks, and I think R.C. straightened them out, got them out of there.
Yeah, I think somebody, one of his friends or something that from high school had come in and said something, and I don't remember now what he said, but he put a stop to whatever they were saying. So
He sure did.
he was saying, just give him a chance. In other words.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just got in there and I laid down. I would lay down on the bed. I didn't even stay up very long.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear the story about the morning that you went to pick Mom up when you went out to get married. Can you recollect that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can remember going over there. I don't remember a whole lot about it. What happened that morning?
She overslept.
Her roommate opened the front door or whatever, and
Oh, yeah, she did. Well, Libby, was that her name?
Libby, yeah.
Yeah, Libby opened the door. That's all I
Was
remember.
Mom still asleep? Didn't she oversleep?
Yeah, yeah. Well, she did, that's right. I don't know if she forgot all about it. Just didn't care.
oh, you were serious.
It's a bad dream. Something.
That was today, wasn't it?
That's right, I forgot all
That's
about
pretty
that.
funny.
Yeah.
She was all excited, wasn't she?
Go ahead, go on to pick her up, go elope. She's sleeping. I forgot.
We don't have to
No,
go
I
this
didn't
early.
forget. I was tired.
I must have kept
Brother.
I was tired.
So what made y'all decide to elope? What was the logic behind that?
Well, we didn't have any money
Didn't
to
have any money, that's right.
get married and have anybody at, for a wedding or anything. And his mom and aunt,
And who?
I think she's your aunt, Emma Lois,
Yeah, envelopes.
they kind of put together like a little shower for us after
After,
we were married.
yeah.
Did anybody else know about it in advance?
No, I don't think so.
I wasn't even sure she did.
Yeah, apparently not.
I was the only one that
You kind of kidnapped her, didn't you?
boy.
So yeah, when you're 17, you had to go somewhere, and then you didn't have your mom and dad's permission, so you had to go Indiana's version of Vegas, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
we went to Justice of the Peace, wasn't it?
Sure did.
Huh.
They okayed it.
Yeah.
Okay in Indiana.
Well, I guess maybe in a lot of states are like that, especially like Kentucky and those kind of places.
Maybe not quite as tight on the rules.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Cousin? That's okay.
Well, I'm gonna go. I don't want to break this up, but I do need to go. Yeah, I'm sorry.
approaching lunchtime, isn't it?
37. Well, it's been a great morning.
Yes,
Yes, I agree.
thank you all.
Thank you all.